Okay, Mitzvah Shem. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi. We are our first year. Usually we learn Pirkei Avos, but we're getting close to Purim, so we're learning some things which are relevant to Purim in the mitzvahs of the day. So, Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi is located in Chanukah Yeshiva's Beit Knesset, I Rehov Zichron Yaakov, number 6, close to the central bus station. So please walk over if you're in Yerushalayim, or drive, or take a bus, and if you're coming from Putzlarts or Putzlir, please, we're very happy to have you join us and participate in our shirin. And now we're learning Nafshi Purim Parshas Shmini. I'm going to emphasize some of the points about drinking wine. Maybe we'll start from the beginning, and very Pashavit point here that it begins with. Let's see. It doesn't have the kudot, so it might be a little bit difficult for you to the beginning. It talks about the beginning of the Medrash talks about Zakeni. The Medrash Tanchuma Parshas Shmini.
What's Zakeni?
Shmini. No, Zakeni, the elders. Zakeni. Zaken is an elder, right? Zakan is also a beard, because most elders have beards, so it goes hand in hand, right? So this Medrash begins by speaking about the elders of Klal Yisrael.
And then Zikna Yisrael, Omer the Bekiva, Nimtu Yisrael Oiv.
The very top.
The Jews are marshal
To a bird.
the bird. Ma'oiv Zayin, Lachon Efroyach B'Lachon Achayim. Same as the bird can't fly without wings. Kach Yisrael Nichayim. L'Azul Dibba B'Lachon. Jews can't do anything without scaling.
Right, just like a bird can't get anywhere without its wings.
Yeah, wings and scaling.
Right, so we, Klal Yisrael, can't get anywhere without our Zakenim. Zakenim, they're the ones who lead us in the way. If we don't have Zakenim, we're just wandering along, lost, not accomplishing anything.
Zikna seems to be old age.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it could be, well, and that's also wisdom. Many times it says,
if those came the Chavim.
sure, it's the beloved.
Yeah, and they don't know them if they're children or older.
Yeah, let's say the younger, our youngsters, yeah. No, I would say, so maybe we have to explain it. Gedola Zikna, I think it's like this. Gedola Zikna is great wisdom. Let's try to translate, because you can't, if you used to be old age, you can run into a problem. So let's say Gedola Zikna meaning wisdom. Why? She'im Zikenim Heim, if those who have wisdom are Zikenim Kavivim, they're cherished, they're beloved, right? Ve'im Norim, if they're still young but they have wisdom, right? Kadosh Baruch Hu kapetz upon them zikna. Kadosh Baruch Hu will bring upon them very quickly old age. That they should. That was I think like the Maisa with Rabbi Yeshuva. Yeah. That he was elected to be the Nafshi of the base Medrash, right? And he was he was only 17, I think, at the time. And he said, Ben Shivim son, he was like 70 years. I go, well, what's mean he's like 70 years? Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu made a nace for him that he had a black beard, and since he was now elected to be the head of the yeshiva, so it would be cover the Torah, be honor of the Torah that it should have a white bearded Rosh Yeshiva. Yeah. So Hashem the next morning woke up with a white beard.
What was his name?
Rabbi Yeshua ben Azariah.
Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah.
Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The end of the
Azar? Is that the one they put on the balance beam in Pirkei Avos?
No, that's in the belt.
Zakai?
No, there's Rabbi Shimon ben Zakai.
Okay.
You know, it's more in brachas.
Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Rabbi Mokum Echad, Rabbi B'Shem Shloishim Mekorius, Matzini. The problem is not only one place, not more than 2 feet. So Mokum Echad covered the field. I should give it covered the field. It was Sirayim Shem ben Yochai. Look after the place of it. So mention the Zikna Yisrael to be part of it. This was after the Zikna Yisrael. It's Piscina, Akla, and the Venim, the Shim's Game. Which is a boil, you see these many places that give the honors given to the Canaan. After the same thing in the future. Novaya Kushbarchi, and it's Chagah Tov in Israel. Hashem will give honors to the elders. And everyone will chaffer al the moon will be embarrassed, I guess. But Shacham, remember Hashem Tzurkis Vatziyam, Mishman, it's kind of
So, let's see, so it says there again that right? It's a puzzle.
Yeah, right. They'll be embarrassed. Yeah.
Right. So when they get the kind of covered, Yerushalayim, right? See in Bahar, it's because Malach Hashem's going to be ruling in Silver Coast, Bahar, Tzion, Har Tzion, Yerushalayim, and when they get the kind of covered, and will be giving, dispersing honor to the elders. Okay, so it's not so clear.
The negative kind of cover, he will give honor to the elders.
Right, I mean, at the same time that there's going to be Charfa Lavona, the moon's going to be embarrassed.
That's the contrast.
Right, the contrast. Right, at that time it's going to be Charfa Lavona, there's going to be disgrace to the Lavona, and Busha Lacham, and embarrassment to the son. Why? Because Amarach Hashem Tzivakos, Hashem is going to be ruling in Har Tzion and in Yerushalayim, and the Zakanim are going to get honor. So the son and moon will be embarrassed.
Warum Chazal, Usse Kushbarach last one Yeshiva Shaskenu, Shlomo making Yeshiva. I don't know if it be a meeting or a Yeshiva like this.
Right, it's going to be like an assembly. They're going to be like an assembly. In this case, yeshiva means, I think, because the Zakanim are probably always learning in yeshivas, but I would say there's going to be in the future, Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to make an assembly of the elders, so Zakanim Shaloi, his Zakanim, those that, not just Stam Zakanim, Zakanim Shaloi, his Kadosh Baruch Hu Zakanim. Who are these that are his Zakanim? Those are obviously the Talmidei Chachamim.
Melech Hashem, the same passage, talking about Tzim Yishalayim, Negez Kenev Kavai, Yibrach Mechavim, Tzadikim, and Achsidim.
Right, Kadosh Baruch Hu gives honor to the righteous and the pious right? But yeah, what's the difference between a tzaddik and a chassid? Right. So in English, I would say a tzaddik is someone who's righteous, right? And a chassid is someone who's pious. Right? You know, someone who's pious is also righteous, but he's above that.
You mean that he goes born pious, right?
And a shrine of that. Yeah. That's like David Melch is chassid, and he wasn't that he was born. He wasn't a shrine of the Gerton, but.
So he's a tzaddik, he was a chassid.
What does pious mean?
Pious means from means that he's extra religious in a good way. Meaning a tzaddik is someone who fulfills all the laws, all the things he has to do. He's straight down the line, 100%, exactly what you have to do. Okay, someone who's a chassid goes beyond that, right? Goes the extra mile. Yep.
Okay. I remember reading somewhere, I think it was Chavetz Chaim, that said he didn't like the fact that people were calling themselves from, because to him, from meant a guy that was a minister could be observant. Okay, he's a minister to whatever he's a minister to, but he liked the word pious when describing somebody that was supposed to.
Right. Because the Mitzvah Shoshaim uses a similar type of explanation. A person who's a tzaddik, he's like a person who is a servant to a person. But someone who's pious, like he's a son to somebody. You know, a son serves the father much, and it's a different dimension of service.
Totally.
He gives, a servant, whatever you need, I'll do for you. And if he's good, he'll even go a little bit out of his way. But basically, when time's off,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. If it's off, you can forget about it.
Yeah, right. But a son, a son who really loves his father, he's always thinking about the father. What can he do for the father? How to make the father happy? So likewise, that when you're serving Kadosh Baruch Hu, goes through a pious Hasidim, they're always thinking of different new ways and always investigating amongst them, within themselves. How can they serve Kadosh Baruch Hu better? What does Hashem really want from them? That's really the beginning of the Sefer Mesillas Shrine. Ma'achavoisa ba'olamo. That's what a person has to be thinking about constantly. What's my obligation at this very moment?
You're making mistakes, Hashem
Well, you got to touch it if you don't want it.
reprimands me.
It's an almond cookie, man. Enjoy it. Somebody already ate one.
Right. So he says now the Medrash. This was the preface to what we're trying to get to. So up until this time we've been discussing about the belovedness and the advantages of being elders and Hasidim and Tzaddikim, those people who are serving Kadosh Baruch Hu. And now ba'avu b'kol eish shenoifel shkaga mahem hu ma'yisrael. However, any time that there's going to be some type of a mistake, a slip up, right? Hashem is going to he's going to chastise them, yeah. Because there's another Chazal that say Kadosh Baruch Hu's dan the tzaddikim k'chut ha'sayron. Kadosh Baruch Hu judges the righteous people very exactly, right? Because he wants them to stay in line. He loves them very much, and he wants them to realize and know, right, clearly, absolutely, and he knows they can take it. Right? That's what the mashal is.
Without rebelling.
Right, without rebelling. He knows Hashem knows they can take it because they really love Hashem. So that's what the mashal Chazal say. A person comes to a potter. There's all kinds of different clay pots and things like that. He says, "That's one clay pot." So he says, the potter says, "Take this one." He says, "I don't know, maybe I like this one here. Let me test it. Because the way you test a clay pot, you give it a tap and see if it's strong enough." So he says, "Let me tell you, the potter says, take this one." He says, "I like this other one better. Let me give it a test." He says, "No, don't test that one. That test one because it's weak, right? If you test it, if you pat it, if you give it a try, it'll break." Like that's something, the person, I know what you need. You need a good strong. I'm telling you, this is a good strong here. You want to test this one. So Kadosh Baruch Hu is done with tzaddikim l'kut t'sayra. He'll sometimes chastise them, even obviously with absolutely pure and truthful judgment. But he won't overlook things. He'll be very exacting with the tzaddikim. Right. So that's why if they make a mistake, if they slip up, Hashem's going to chastise them. How do we see? We see from the Bnei Aaron. Right. What happened?
He was shosing yain, then he drank wine.
This is talking about the two sons of Aaron that they drank wine. Then they went into the Kodesh Kodashim and they came out. They didn't come out. They had to be taken out.
Yeah. And then we Chazati sur yain, they were drunk.
They had drunk wine. Meaning, because a Kohen can't, even if he has a revis, he can't serve in the Beis Hamikdash. He's exempt if he's prohibited to drink if he's on duty. And it doesn't have to be drunk. He is simply that he drinks a revis. And that's we actually learned the halachas about davening. Yeah, the davening, the Mishnah, the Machaber brings down in the Tzadi test in Siman 99 of Orach Chaim. He says if a person drinks a revis of wine, he's not supposed to daven until the wine. No, the Ramah says that our wines are not as strong as they used to be.
There's a coin on Purim. Is he put off from drinking wine?
Because possibly, if it's the mishmor, then he wouldn't be able to drink. So according to the Machaber, if you drink a revis wine, you're not supposed to. Even if you feel okay, you can't really drink until the wine wears off somewhat. But if you do, as long as you could speak in front of a king, you're okay. Because just like a coin, when you're davening, you're supposed to be like a coin, gadol, going into the very innermost sanctum, the Kodesh Kodashim, and speaking before Kadosh Baruch Hu, standing in front of Kadosh Baruch Hu. So a coin, it's forbidden for him to serve while he's drunk any wine. Okay. Well, Vikach, therefore, and that's why.
Yeah, the figure of Tzibach is Rocha, and that's why Hashem said, Achim Susan, after they died, the Hazel Yain, to be careful not to drink wine.
Right, so if you
When you were at certain times, like before the Mikdash and stuff like that.
right, so because if you look at the parsha, if you look at the verses, the parsha there after the event of the two sons of Aaron dying, so after that, immediately after that is the command to the Kohen that he should not drink wine. That's the plus. Amar Kadosh Baruch
Be careful with wine.
Hashem this is Hashem speaking. So that's the big kasha that everyone asks. Hashem is speaking and telling us, be careful from wine. So if that's the case, how can we go ahead and start drinking on Purim? That's the big kasha that we'll hopefully have answered by this time tomorrow, or next week. Yeah. Oh, Amar. Let us see.
Come on, what are you doing?
Show him where we are. Yeah, Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu. Right. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu.
What happened to Noach? He started to make a mistake with it.
Yeah, he was Lushagas, he made a mistake by the drinking of the
Starting
wine.
with wine. What means he started or means he made himself chulin?
It could be both. Yeah, they darshan, yeah. Right, he drank
wine and he became
or he became shikar, he is
golly,
he
became exposed.
right.
We got him this balance who made him become buzzy, how you say that?
Disgraceful.
Disgrace, yeah.
So the wine, even though as we learned previously in the other medrash, that even though Noach was a tzaddik, a tohor, a tam, he had all the very great advantages. He was a very high level of spirituality and accomplishment. He was saved amongst everyone in his generation who was perished in the flood. Nevertheless, when it came to wine, he became disgraced through the wine. So we, who are much lower than Noach, we have to be much more careful how we drink our wine. Ignore everybody.
Caused them to that he cursed his children.
Right. So that was the wine. So this is one of the basic understandings we have to have about wine. That wine has the ability to as we mentioned last week, has the ability to destroy or to build. You can do both things with wine, not simultaneously. You have to be careful how you use it. But if you use wine properly, you can build, and if you use it improperly, it can destroy. Listen to that. Now you have to be careful.
The person to all available in the Torah.
Call it
infidelity.
Yeah, it says we're warned against about wine. He brings a person to all the averas that exist in the world. Nus, that's number one. Number two, Geneva. Now, this is what I said many times so far in our preparations to Purim. Again, the wine is not making him do these things. Meaning, the wine is just an excuse for him releasing his inhibitions. Right? He would want to steal all the time, but he's too afraid to steal. Right? He wants to do all these other things, but he's too afraid to do it. So when he has the wine as an excuse, and he can say, I drunk, the wine made me do it. Right? It wasn't really me. Right? So that's what wine allows a person to do. The intelligence is still functioning. The Yetzer Hara is still there, very active. He's waiting there, as a matter of fact, to get the person, lurking there, to help the person. that the person would say, oh, you know, it would be great to, you know, you're sitting next to somebody at the Purim Suda who's got the matzo ball soup, so I would just love to stab my fork into his matzo ball and steal it from you, right? But I wouldn't grab your cracker from you right now, would I, you know? But on Purim, why would I go ahead and do it? Because the wine, you know, it's not me, it's the wine, it's a joke, right? So the person has all these things in himself, and if he doesn't control the way he drinks, right? And that's what happens. The more wine he drinks, the greater excuse he's going to have to do all these things. Because I got so drunk, I didn't even remember what I was doing. We'll see in a week and a day from today what's going to be, right? Oh, you'll have plenty of excuses, and hopefully not. But if people drink responsibility, they can, like, as we get there, the first level, the person's a sheep, a little lamb. Then he goes to being an Ari. If he stays at that level, being an Ari, so you can really have a lot of fun. Right? But if you move on to the next level of a Chazir,
to see what that means after something for the kevis, but they don't.
Okay, we'll have to. Bez Hashem, we'll have to try and get an answer for that. Bez Hashem, we'll see. Yeah, Bez Hashem, we'll have to see. Let's continue.
Hello, Samech Levadum, Shabbat. How can you say the wine is such a bad thing? The pasuk says it's Mishameach. And the pasuk praises wine.
Right.
Because of Tumai, Kakoy, Vitoya, Shaleva.
So you have a big kasha here. He says, we just got through saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling us to be careful from wine. And Chazal is saying wine is going to bring a person to do all the Averos Shabbat, right?
What does that, I'm sorry, what does that mean? Averos B'Sha'olim?
Yeah, all the Averos in the world. Olam is the world. So wine can make a person do any Avera that is possible to do in the world, wine can allow him to do it.
Thank you.
Because he's going to use that as an excuse. But you have a kasha, if that's the case, what does it mean? Not only the V'halo, Misameach, Leiv Adam, Mishvach, it makes a person happy, and it's praised. The pasuk comes around and it's praising wine. Kamosha Korbator, like it says in the pasuk, Yain Yismech Leiv Enosh. The wine makes happy the hearts of people, right? So how can we say that wine's a bad thing? We see, on the other hand, that wine is praised and is applauded for its very important way of giving joy to people. You want to cheer somebody up, just give them a couple of glasses of wine. So what could be wrong with it? Okay, it says, right, let's continue. Pikudi Hashem Yishar Yisachele. Right? Yeah, I'm not sure the connection, because that's one with Torah and this is one with Yain. Okay, well, that we'll have to think about it.
He seems to be doing the same thing.
So very good. So that's a good thing. Right. So what's the connection? Apparently, like this. It says the question is, again, we just got through saying that wine is going to make a person do what Hashem Yirakim, any kind of thing is forbidden. Wine has the key to opening up all the door to making all kinds of averas, sins and transgressions. On the other hand, it says that it does very good things. Yain yismach levei amos, va'omra samach leiv adam, right? And also now that it's sort of like making like a gezerah shabbat. It says that wine gives joy to people's hearts, and also Pikudi Hashem Yisharim B'Samchei Leiv. So there's an amazing thing here that wine is being equated with Torah, right? The wine is being equated with Torah. It says that because it does the same thing, right? It says here the pasuk in Tehillim says V'yayin Yismak Levav Anush. Wine gives joy to the heart of a person, right? And it says in the pasuk, in another pasuk in Tehillim, Pikudi Hashem Yisharim B'Samchei Leiv. The Pikudi of Hashem, meaning the Torah, it's yashar, it's direct and righteous, and it gives joy to the heart, right? Another pasuk says, Ki Yosef Torah, a person who is Yosef Torah, Yankil Gan Eden, a person is going to be Yankil Gan Eden, right? Kamo it says in the pasuk, Ki Heim V'Rechi Mecha, right? Now, so apparently they seem to be equatable in some way. There seems to be some relevance of wine, some equality between wine and the Torah. So, okay, we're gonna have to stop today for this point, and we'll be able to speak about this in Mishnah Shem a little bit more tomorrow. And we'll try and get a clear understanding how Torah and wine could be equatable in some way. And the fact that the key is joy, the joy that gives to people's hearts.